everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be talking about all of my channel plans from now until December, and I am also going to talk about a tiny mini readathon that I've just thought of that I'm going to do, and I think there's going to be a few of us taking part. It's just to get me to read some of the books that have been on my shelves for a while, and you might want to join in. So as you can see, we're back with the books in the background. I was getting sick of seeing my the back, what's it called, the headboard of my bed in the back of my videos. I just got lazy, and that's not okay. So yeah, we're back to having books in the background. I have got a bookcase in the living room that's got some DVDs on it, and there's a couple of shelves there that are kind of got little bits on them but not much, so I'm thinking of maybe having a nice display there. I might have a go at trying to do them in the lovely rainbow colours that everybody does, but I don't think I'd be very good at like phasing it into the next colour, so I will try. If not, you'll just end up with a random mismatch of books. So I have decided, as we're in June now, as you know, I've already done my Scrabble and TBR Trail TBR, which I'm making my way through. I think I've read 4 books, so well, I haven't. I've read 2 of the actual books I was meant to read, and then I've read 2 graphic novels that weren't on my TBR, because I'm also taking part in Whatever-a-thon. So those graphic novels were contemporary, so they could be used for my team, but I more picked it because yesterday I felt a bit yucky and I just thought I want something easy. I didn't want to start a brand new book on Sunday because I knew I was starting my buddy read with Becca today of Me, My Dad and the End of the Rainbow, so I didn't want to read something that I was going to be like really in the middle of and want to finish and then be doing those buddy read pages as well. I don't mind starting a new book today, bearing in mind I know I've got that buddy read going on, if that makes any sense at all. That's how my brain works. So yeah, that's where I'm up to with that. So as if I haven't got enough on with trying to do Whatever-a-thon and finish my books for the Scrabble and TBR Trail. My husband was always in a snooker league, and he hasn't played in it in a long time, but I don't know what made me do it. Oh, I do know what made me think of it. In our car, when we get in our car with Sophie, we always now play Car Rainbow, and we go through all of the colours of the rainbow looking for cards to do with that colour. It passes the time for her. It saves, quite often she wants to play certain types of music in the car, which is fine, which I do with her a lot. But sometimes the songs that she wants to sing, for example, is the Minions album from Despicable Me. Now, I don't know if you've heard the Minions songs, but none of them make any sense. They don't speak English, they speak Minionish or whatever language that is, and I can't listen to that all the time. So we try and think of different games that we can do rather than just travelling in silence, because at the end of the day I want to spend time with her, I want to talk about things, I want to spot things out the car. So we do Car Rainbow. And then something the other day made me think of, I think Andy was saying that maybe instead of doing Car Rainbow, because by the time you get to the end, so you've got your red, orange, yellow, green, blue green, blue, and then we get to the end and it's indigo and violet, so she just said purple and pink. And it's not that easy to find purple and pink cards. So Andy said, well, why don't you do it like Snooker and the colours of that? Sophie didn't want to do that. She wants to stick with what we do, which is fine. But then I thought, hang on, I could do a week readathon of going through the colours of the snooker balls. So if it was more than a week, if I, for example, if I was going to do this for a month, I'd do, right, every time you hit a snooker ball, you have to hit the white one first and then you go through the colours. So I could have done, in between each colour you have to read a white one, plus do you have to hit the red, isn't there red 15 red balls or something? I don't know exactly, but I thought it could get really complicated and I'm only doing a week. So the plan is, at the start of the readathon you have to read a white book. You don't get any points for it, but because you have to hit that ball first before every other ball, you have to read a white one. So you don't get any points, but to start the readathon that's what you do. And then the other plan of the readathon is to go through the rest of the colours in order. And you do get the points, but you have to go in the order. So you get 1 point for a red ball, 2 points for a yellow ball, 3 points for a green ball. Sorry, Chico's shaking you around in a minute. If this camera falls over, that's why. 4 points for a brown ball, 5 points for a blue ball, 6 points for a pink ball, 7 points for a black ball. It's going to run from the 21st to the 26th of June. Whoever wants to take part is welcome. I'm doing it so I can get some off my shelves. So that's what I'm doing then. So that's for June, last week in June, last full week in June, book snooker. So the hashtag for it on Twitter is hashtag book snooker. I'll just be running it through my personal Twitter account, because I've already got Eurovisionathon Twitter account, so I don't want to add another one in, and it's only a week-long thing for now. If I decide to do it for longer in future, great. Oh, I didn't realise I've got my red, blue, white. I look like a bit like a snooker ball. So that's for June. Then in July, I am taking part in the Indie Accords Readathon, which is basically a readathon to encourage people to read independently published books, from independent bookshops. Kindle Unlimited was mentioned. There's quite a lot of independent books on there. So that's what I'm going to do, because I don't know if anybody else feels like this, but I always thought with independent books, wrongly, that, oh, well, if publishers aren't publishing those books, is it because they're not as good? And then I think, hang on, a publisher is just a person, it's just their opinion. You only have to look on Goodreads to see how differing all our opinions are. Just because that one person in a publisher's, don't get me wrong, I know publishers know what's popular, but just a popular book doesn't mean there's quite a lot of niche books out there that are really really great. So I thought, that's one person's opinion, so just because they pick it doesn't mean there's anything wrong with it. And also, I had a train of thought, then it's gone. I can hear my neighbours talking outside. There's a lot of really well-known authors who were rejected for years and years and years and years, and then only later on got published. And I'd like, there's authors who were like in the 60s, 70s, 80s getting published for the first time because they've been ignored up till then. So I am realising that my view before up till now has been kind of closed off. I'm not saying I haven't read any independent books, and I've definitely been in independent bookshops, but I feel like recently I've thought about it a lot more because I'm well into my reading now, and I'm thinking there's so many books out there that I want to read, and there's people who've got a story to tell. I read one for my Eurovisionathon readathon, which was related to Eurovision. It was Death, Murder at Eurovision, Death Over My Dead Body, Murder at Eurovision, and that was by somebody called Christoph Fischer. Yeah, I gave it 3 stars, but I still really enjoyed the story, and I want to read. That's the first in that series I am now going to read for the Indie Accords Readathon. So I didn't actually realise I had quite a few on my shelves. So I'm not going to go through them now because I've got I'm going to do a TBR for book snooker, book bingo. That's because I've watched Rhiannon's videos. Book snooker, I'm going to do a TBR for that. Then I'm going to do a TBR. I'm going to have to. So it's because I've got the window facing me. TBR for book snooker, TBR for Indie Accords Readathon. I haven't decided yet if I'm going to do Scrabble and Indie Accords, or whether I'm just going to do Indie Accords and just read independent books, because if I do Scrabble, the chances are that I won't find any books that are independently published with the letters that I want. So I don't want to just read any old thing. I want it to be something I'm interested in, so that in the future I'm encouraged to read independent books, because there's lots out there that I really want to read. So yeah, so I haven't decided about that yet. Then there's Olympicsathon, which is going to be run by one of the people who took part in Eurovisionathon. Her name is Charlotte. Her channel is Clumsy Charlotte if you want to check it out. She hasn't done like an announcement video or anything yet, but it has got its own Twitter handle, so at Olympicsathon, and that is running from the 21st of July to the 8th of August. So I think that's the length of the Olympics, nearly 2 weeks, is it? And all I know about it is it's going to have a similar premise to Eurovision, in that Eurovisionathon, in that you read different countries. That's how I see it so far, but I'm waiting to see Charlotte's video in order to find that out. So I'm going to be doing that. So there's going to be a crossover between Indie Accords and Olympicsathon, and then Olympicsathon's running into August, and in August there's a month-long readathon for the Royal Readathon, which is run by Becca and Liv. You'll have seen me take part in it every time so far, and they're doing a month-long one. I'm dead excited. Again, don't know anything about it yet. None of the prompts have been put up, but look out for that video as well. But that month I'm thinking of doing Scrabble and Sister, so I'm going to ask my sister if she will pick some books for me. I don't know if I'm going to show her the prompts of the Royal Readathon and let her think of those as well. My sister doesn't read a great deal, but she still does read. And I know there's a few books that she's interested in that we might buddy read together. And whether I'll get her on my channel, I don't know yet. I haven't asked her. But if she's up for being on camera, you will see my sister and you'll see how different we are. Chalk and cheese. So then in September, sorry, I'm looking down, all my notes are here. So then in September, I'm thinking of doing Scrabble and Sam. And I have asked Sam in the past from Griff Reads if she would do a Scrabble TBR for me. And she said yes, but then your Readathon came up and I was trying to fit everything in. So I haven't asked her specifically if she will do September, but I will get in touch with her and ask her. So Sam, if you're watching this, let me know. But if she doesn't want to for any reason, or she's got too much on or anything, that's fine. I'll just move it around. But she did say yes last time, so yeah. Then in October, it will be a year since I started my Scrabble TBR game. So the person who did the first one for me, if you remember, was my husband, Andy. So I wanted to do something along the lines of that, and I was tempted just to ask him to do it again. But then I thought, hang on, at one point, I think it was Christmas time, I mentioned that I was going to do the Scrabble miss list. And I was going to pick books that I hadn't managed to read during my Scrabble TBRs, but were on those lists. So what I'm thinking of doing is just showing and listing every book that I didn't read for Andy. And say, go for it, pick 4 books off there. And then with the letters, I might pick the letters of for books and pick off the pile of books that I didn't read yet. So hopefully that works okay. But yeah, so October is the Scrabble miss list. Then in November, I'm going to try and do Scrabble and series. Now, November time is normally the time we have Readathon, but I haven't heard mention of if that's happening in November again, or whether it's happening in a different time of year, I don't know. That's run by Gavin at How to Train Your Gavin. So I'm going to keep an eye out for that. But that would work quite well because I do have quite a few middle grade series that I want to start and finish. The whole point of Scrabble and series was that I was going to try and finish series off, but actually I've got a few books that I want to start series of. So we've got the Polar Bears Explorers Club there. That's just one of them. 13, you can't see it, but I've got a 13 story treehouse. Trying to think what else I've got. Amelia Fang and the Unicorn Lords, although I might use that as a black book for book Snooker. So I'm thinking, I want to carry on. If you can see there, Wonder Smith, I haven't carried on with Nevermore yet, and I've got that one. I've got Wonder Smith on audiobook, and I've got it out from the library because I wasn't sure which way I was going to read it. And then I've got Hollopox, which the lovely Mel from a Book Fiend named Mel channel, she got that for me. She gifted me that for my birthday. So I've got middle grade series, so that hopefully the prompts that Gavin comes up with, or the map he comes up with, they will fit into that. So Scrabble and series for November. And then December is going to be Scrabble and Santa, because last Christmas I read some great books that I thought, right, I'm going to read these every year. So the Six Tales of Christmas was one that I loved last year. I'm definitely going to read that again. Miracle on Ebenezer Street, I'm definitely going to read that again. I'm not sure I'll read the Christmasaurus again, but I've really just loved the Christmasaurus and the Winter Witch, so I definitely want to read that one again. And then I'm going to say I've got some Christmassy books, but I won't be able to put my hand to them now. But I know, Tinsel. I haven't read Tinsel yet, and I did get that for last year, so I definitely want to read that. I know I have got Christmas books. I've got some like romance Christmas books that I want to read. So we'll just see. But yeah, Scrabble and Santa. So that's where we're up to. I thought of something else for December that I was going to do, and it's gone. I had plans, all kinds of plans of what I was going to do, because I've already started planning out my Vlogmas videos. To be honest, once the last Vlogmas had finished, I set out doing the next one because I thought I need ideas for every day. I was going to do like a Scrooge selection TBR game. So I'm not totally against that yet. So it might not end up being Scrabble and Santa. It might end up being the Scrooge selection TBR game, but I'll let you know about that nearer the time. So there are my plans. Book Snooker, end of June. India Chords, July. Olympicsathon, part July, part August. Royal Readathon in August alongside Scrabble and Sister. September, Scrabble and Sam, if she's up for doing it. October, the Scrabble Miss List, which is the year anniversary of my TBR game, so Andy will be redoing that one. November, Scrabble and Series, alongside possibly Believeathon, and then December, Scrabble and Santa, or this Scrooge type game that I was thinking of. So there's some plans. I'm trying to get better at everything and going to try and have some kind of background each time rather than just sitting on my bed where I'm being lazy and just tired, as I need to zhuzh myself up a bit because chronic fatigue is rubbish, but I can try and boost myself a bit. So I hope this was okay, and I will speak soon. Bye.